Hello, hello, beautiful beings. Welcome back. Okay, so today I want to talk all about being an empath and the difficulties that we have had. And so I want to talk a little bit about the pain points of being an empath and also some of the joys about being an empath these days. And I also want to talk about the follow through, right? So we've all been in quarantine. We've all been, diving deep on a lot of that inner work, a lot of that inner focus. But now what I'm realizing is I'm definitely not alone in this feeling. So if you feel the same, definitely comment below. But what I'm really realizing within my friend group, within myself, within all of you and your comments is, as an empath, it was actually such a beautiful break to kind of fuck off during the pandemic or plandemic and be alone. And finally, we had the capacity, we had the time, we had the motivation, we had the capacity to do the work that we haven't done in many, many years. And now that things are kind of, depending on where you live, of course, getting back to normal, how do we move forward in the same capacity with the same dynamics of humanity while being 10 times more sensitive than we were a year ago, right? The energies have shifted within us. We've done the work. It's been great being alone and being forced to be alone. Sorry about that plane. But now what? So what I'm finding is all of these empaths, all of these starseeds, all of these old souls that I'm talking to, they all want to buy a property. They all want to be off grid. They all want to start their own retreat center or, healing center. And that's amazing. And that brings me so much joy to know that there are so many others out there who want to do the same thing, to create sustainable communities and environments for us to really flourish and grow. So my question is, do we continue to say no to opportunities and stay home in our comfort zone of being a super sensitive empath and say, no, I'm not going to go out tonight. I'm just going to be at home doing my, thing rather than go out? So are you taking yourself away from good opportunities for the sake of feeling the ease of being alone and at home as an empath? So should we take those opportunities, or should we ultimately, continue that inner work? And my answer to you is, it's completely up to you. The best thing that we can do as an empath moving forward, when things are opening back up, and maybe your friends, I call them human friends, maybe your human friends don't really understand the sensitivities. Maybe your family doesn't understand the sensitivities or the empathic or why you have the desire to be alone. And that is totally okay, but there does have to be a respect of the boundaries that you have and that you are implementing. So the biggest thing is really ask for what you want and feel into where you're at from moment to moment. If you feel like going out and socializing, go out and socialize. If you feel like just staying home and that's all you want to do is just stay home and be alone with yourself and your animals in your bathtub or whatever, do that. But when you make a decision, own that decision. If you make a decision and you regret the decision that you make and you feel guilty for staying home, then you're creating a resistant vibrational frequency, right? So a lot of us just really want to either be alone or be around high vibrational individuals. And we probably aren't fully aware of why, but the main reason is our vibrational frequency has really skyrocketed in the past year and a half. And that's because we've been doing the work on ourselves. We're purging out all of that old crap. And being around other people is, can be challenging, can be difficult to say the least. I'll tell you a little trick that I do with being around other people who are not on the same frequency. This could be anyone from a bank teller or a doctor, who's in major fear, or it could be, standing beside a homeless man or woman, or what have you. It could be literally being around anyone, but especially people who are not maybe on that same level or frequency as you. I do something called playing the game, right? To play the game. And I definitely think that this is a skill or a strategy that I have developed over many, many lifetimes being on this planet. For a lot of us starseeds, the second that we are standing in our power, the second that we are our true selves, let's say, and we speak our truth, in past lifetimes, we have most likely been killed for speaking our truth, for standing up, for being our divine little magical being self, right? We've usually either gotten suppressed, jailed, or killed for doing that. So, because of the lack of safety in past lifetimes for being our true magical selves, we have suppressed ourselves, we have hidden ourselves, we have pretended to be human, we have chosen to lose all of our memories just to fit in, just to be normal, just to be accepted. And it sucks because we give our power away in that state. And so a skill that I've developed is the ability to play the game in relation to speaking someone else's language, and really enjoying, I don't know how else to say it, but like the more simple conversations that I have in my day to day. I love meeting new people. I love having stimulating conversations. I love probably pushing people outside of their comfort zone. But I will never shy away from someone because their vibration doesn't match mine. If anything, I have this open-minded curiosity of where their perception lies and where they're coming from, and asking the right questions and getting into their mind a little bit helps me understand society as a whole. So allow those moments that you may be dreading with your family because you're like, all I can talk about is the weather with my family, and go a little bit deeper, but maybe deeper in a different way. Deeper in a way that you are leading the conversation with your own curiosity to learn something new that you maybe can't learn from spirituality or from philosophy or what have you, right? So playing the game and meeting your environment at its level is, I believe, a true mastery level where we're not resisting the environment that's around us just because it doesn't align to us, but we're actually choosing to harmonize with that environment in order to learn and gain access to experience that maybe we wouldn't have otherwise, right? So for me, there's very few things that I dread or that I don't feel fully excited about. Definitely one thing that I struggle with is emotion. It's very easy for me to have compassion and understand where other people are coming from. Very difficult for me to really step into my own emotions and feelings and understand where I'm at as a human, because it just seems irrelevant in my mind, and it's not. It's a huge part of the human experience, right? We all have our struggles, we all have our pitfalls, but I know that a lot of us starseeds really struggle with connecting and being a part of a society as we see it and observe it, because a lot of people are lost and projecting and confused for the most part as to who they are, why they're here, what the whole point of it is, and, don't even know that there's anything beyond these four physical walls, right? And that can be difficult to connect. But there are so many hidden gems within that. So as an empath, as a sensitive, as a starseed, as an old soul, you have to ask yourself, what brings you the highest amount of excitement from moment to moment? And that also requires us to neutralize any sort of resistance that we may have in our lives from moment to moment. How do you know that something doesn't give you excitement if you're holding space for that experience in resistance? I'm going to give you a really funny example that just popped into my mind, and it's really hilarious, but it's very, very aligned to this whole conversation. So, me and my wife, we use scrunchies and hair ties and, all the girly things, whatever, all the time to put up our hair. And she has such thick hair. She's actually getting it cut right now. She has such thick hair that every time she uses like a hair elastic, it has this little ball of hair on it. I don't understand it. I have super thin hair, and I never get little balls of hair on my hair elastics. So in the past, I used to be super grossed out by these like hair elastics with balls of hair all over them. I've been weirded out by hair since I was a kid, especially my mom's like thick, curly black hair. Like, it grossed me out. I think it's a gray thing. Doesn't matter. I'm just not used to hair in general. And so I don't know what happened, but in the matter of the past couple of months, the other day I looked at this hair elastic with these little clumps of hair, and my perception completely changed. And instead of being really grossed out and throwing out the hair elastic, I picked it up and I thought to myself, "Aw, it's a little piece of babe. It's a little piece of my girl right here in my hand on this hair elastic." Like, I literally, the whole perception of that experience shifted completely without me needing to think about shifting the perception around that. And I've been calling in a shift in perception in my own mind as well. And I've been talking a lot about shifting your perception, focusing on your beliefs, focusing on your conditions, your contracts, your conditional love, and attachments and those kind of things. So it's a really funny story, but I just had that experience like 2 days ago, and I thought that was really just interesting, just observing that. So don't shy away from human contact in a sense, but follow the highest excitement and really focus on getting rid of any sort of resistance that you have to any experience here on this earthly plane. Once you are living free of resistance, no matter what the fuck is happening in your life, that is ultimate freedom. That is ultimate sovereignty. So that's a place that I think we should all strive to be, and I'm definitely still working on it on my end. So I hope this message finds you well, beautiful starseeds. I hope you're having an amazing day. I hope you have a great week. I also just released a really incredible, like really, really good podcast episode, and it's called... what is it called? Starseeds and Healthy Boundaries. If you're having issues with people in your life and you need to know how to create better healthy boundaries, I have an amazing 25-minute episode you guys should definitely check out. Spotify, iTunes, all of the places where you find podcasts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And until next time, I will see you all in the fifth dimension.